Hey friends, welcome. I'm George, and today I'm going to show you how to make duck liver pate. But you can also make this with chicken livers if you can't get your hands on duck. This is the easiest to make and most delicious version of pate that I have ever had. It is not foie gras. What is the difference between duck liver and foie gras? And is eating liver good for you? Most pate recipes border on a 50-50 mix of liver and some kind of fat. That's a lot of fat. My recipe cuts the fat in half. Now, whether you use duck or chicken livers, you're going to need duck fat to make this, and it is available on Amazon, and there is a link in the description. I'm going to use this pate mold to make my pate. It will make just under 1 kilo or 2 pounds of pate. You do not need to make pate in this mold. You can line any bowl you want with plastic wrap and make your pate in that. So pate darkens very quickly, so you need to keep it away from air. You can also make your pate in a ring, like this one, just also line it with plastic so it doesn't turn dark on you. If you pick up a few of these rings and make individual pates instead of one large one like I'm making, you can share them as gifts, or you can keep one in the refrigerator and the rest in the freezer. Pate will last up to 7 days in the refrigerator and about 3 months in the freezer. Start with 24 ounces or about 680 grams of washed and patted dried duck livers. Chop about 8 shallots or enough to give you 10 ounces or 230 grams. Mince 8 medium organic cloves of garlic. Weigh out 10 ounces of duck fat and 2 ounces of butter. Melt the duck fat and the butter together. Get the oil temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. Drop the shallots in for a very short time, about a half a minute, then place your liver in the fat. Once one side is golden brown, which will take under 2 minutes, flip the livers and add the garlic and 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters of organic herb de Provence. Also, add 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters of Celtic sea salt. Poultry needs to be cooked to 165 degrees. Now, most of the time we eat our duck, especially the breast, pink. It's never a problem until you get salmonella. Good times. If you overcook the liver, it's going to become very grainy instead of silky smooth. So here's how you can make it safely. Monitor the temperature of each piece of duck. When it reaches an internal temperature of 150 degrees Fahrenheit, add it to your blender. Once all the duck is cooked to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, add 2.5 tablespoons or 50 milliliters of a nice cognac to the livers. Add 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters of a really good quality fresh ground black peppercorn like Kampot or Telecherry. I did a whole video about peppercorns, and a link to that will be available at the end of this video. Pour the fat into the blender and blend until smooth. The excessive heat from the hot oil will bring the livers to a safe temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and they will not be overcooked. Normally this is done in a food processor, but by pureeing it in a blender you can avoid a necessary step when using a food processor, which is to pass the hot pate through a meshed sieve, a very fine mesh sieve. Kind of makes for a tough cleanup. If you don't have a blender, you will need to use a food processor and a sieve. You want to line your mold with plastic wrap and place the hot pate into the mold. You want to ensure that there's no pockets, no air pockets, because they're going to show up later when you take it out of the refrigerator. Because we cut out half the fat, this hot pate is not a liquid as a traditional pate would be. Make sure the entire pate is covered in plastic wrap and leave it in the refrigerator until it is cold. Now, depending on the size of your mold, it could take anywhere from 2 hours and up. This one takes about 8 hours. This is not foie gras. Foie gras is duck liver, but it is a process of force-feeding ducks incredible amounts of a specific diet which causes their liver to grow enormously. It's been banned in many countries. Producers are starting to create foie gras without force-feeding ducks. Recent medical evidence is suggesting that large quantities of foie gras could cause amyloidosis. People with a family history of Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, or other amyloid-related diseases should avoid consuming foie gras. But liver is very rich in iron, B12, and vitamin A. It's not high in fat. Pate, on the other hand, is pretty high in fat. It's an excellent food for those on a keto diet, not such a good choice for people who are watching fat intake. Traditionally, it's served with cornichons and pickled onions alongside a fresh baguette or toast points. But when it comes to pate, you can serve it any way that you want. The sky is the limit. I'm avoiding the carbs, but I really enjoy to have it with a little bit of gluten-free bread. You can have it with celery sticks or fresh, sweet little peppers. I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I'm gonna make this statement. This could be the best duck liver pate I've ever had in my life. It's truly outstanding. It's creamy, didn't need to pass it through a sieve. It's aromatic. This pate is darker than most duck pates. It's because it is cooked longer. Now, if you do choose to prepare your pate medium rare, and I really don't recommend you do it, you're gonna cook this to an internal temperature of 130 degrees before pureeing it in the blender. Here's my cooking tip of the day. Take a look at other people's recipes when making a dish. I was really surprised to find out that Jacques Pepin uses herbe de Provence in his duck liver pate and was thrilled to add it to my recipe. Normally, I make mine with tarragon. I like it a lot better with herbe de Provence. Don't be afraid to experiment with what others have tried. Let me know what your favorite way to make pate is. Hit that like button, it helps me more than you would think, and click on one of these videos. They're worth watching. I really appreciate you. Cheers.